Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here, and welcome to a very impromptu episode of the Cinematic Bucket List series. I am in between videos currently, and this is kind of coming in last minute, but I did feel like I should do something to honor Paul Reubens, who unfortunately passed away a couple days ago. So today I am going to be talking about Pee-wee's Big Adventure, released in 1985 and directed by Tim Burton. Now, I know this will be very special and nostalgic for a lot of people who are probably watching this, because I know Pee-wee Herman and Pee-wee's Playhouse and even in this movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, shaped a lot of their childhoods, and it was, a big part of that for a lot of people. I was not one of those. I was not brought up on Pee-wee Herman. I was obviously made aware of him, just as I got older, consuming media, I became aware of Pee-wee Herman and Pee-wee's Playhouse and all of that. But I've mentioned before, I was raised on Thomas and Friends, Blue's Clues, Sesame Street, some UK imports and stuff like that. So I never really watched Pee-wee's Playhouse. It was a little before my time. But I have heard a lot of things about this movie and how it really did shape a lot of people's childhood, how it was just really whimsical and fun and scary in certain parts, and it's been one that's been on the bucket list for a while. But I figure what better time to do it now than to honor the title character and the late actor that played him. So this being my first introduction to Pee-wee Herman and Pee-wee's Playhouse, I kind of expected it to be a little bit crazy and cartoony and wacky and zany and everything like that. But I think right from the opening scene of Pee-wee Herman waking up in his house and going through his morning routine and making breakfast and everything like that with all those Rube Goldberg machines, even then I don't feel like that gives you a proper clue as to what you're in for, because this movie gets weird and it goes all over the place and goes in so many different directions, and I kind of loved it for that exact reason. The story is so very, very simple. Pee-wee Herman has this bike that he loves and he takes really good care of, and one day he loses it, and he goes absolutely insane, and he gets the whole neighborhood involved and goes on this epic quest basically to find his missing bike. And it sounds like such a simple premise, just lost a bike, where can you go from there? Surprisingly more places than you think. It goes all over the place, from hitchhiking on the highway to avoiding police capture with an escaped convict, to being driven by a ghost trucker, to angering biker gangs in a dive bar and dancing on the table, to even going to the Warner Brothers lot and running through different movie sets and everything like that. Every direction that you don't expect it to go, it goes. And I just kind of respect it for that, being just unapologetically weird and all over the place. It's a very just whimsical and uplifting movie. It's hard to watch this and be angry, because Pee-wee Herman just exudes childlike energy and enthusiasm. Even when some of the really crazy and insane shit is happening to him, when he's being picked up by all these very weird and random and creepy characters, and he's being chased around and people are trying to kill him and stuff like that, he still just keeps that that energetic bubbly personality that I can't do the voice. I completely butchered that, I'm sorry. But he's someone like Milo Murphy or something. He's a character who is just kind of in his own world, and everyone just accepts him as just, this is the way that he is, and we're cool with that. And I really like that. And I also think it was a clever touch, and I don't know how this is in the show, but I do think it's a clever touch that Pee-wee, yes, while the actor is a grown adult, he does still have sort of the mannerisms and the attitude of a small child. he gets really frustrated when he has to like go through this like museum tour in Texas, and he's like waiting through all this time to like look for his bike, only to like find out that it's not there, and he gets really upset. He like brings the entire neighborhood down for this like investigation, and like he's getting really impatient when they're all like not listening to him. Like when there's a scene of him like singing like tunes with this like homeless guy on a train, and as time goes on he gets progressively more and more annoyed, so he just jumps off. It's like little attitudes and like quirks like that I do feel like, you know, if anything were to like gravitate kids towards Pee-wee's Playhouse and by extension this movie, like I feel like that would have been one of them. I also like how the movie looks. Like it has a very intentional like style to it. Like this is one of those few Tim Burton movies where you look at it and if you didn't know that Tim Burton was involved, like you wouldn't have guessed it, but when you tell someone that Tim Burton is behind it, you look at it again and you're like, that makes so much sense, because like the production design, the sets, like the practical effects, everything involved, it's just so chaotic, and like the attention to detail throughout all of it just is really impressive and really cool, and I just had a blast like looking at this movie. I'll also say it's like surprisingly kind of like creepy and intense, like the Large Marge sequence especially, and a lot of those scenes like driving down the highway at night. Like I get why this movie makes a lot of like unintentionally scary top 10 movies from your childhood lists, because like I don't know, I don't know. I mean, I was speaking from experience. I think I was a little like sheltered and like a kind of a bitch as a kid, so like I mean I was hiding behind the chair like in those like SpongeBob episodes with the caterpillar, so like I don't know what I would have thought of something like this. But yeah, I can see how this would freak a lot of kids out, but I kind of like that. I like that it wasn't afraid to be a little bit like edgier than something you would normally see in a kid's show. For as all over the place as the movie is, it is paced like pretty well. Like I guess the only thing that I would say goes on a little bit too long would be like the chase at the end. But I feel like that's part of the joke, is that it just keeps going and it keeps getting more and more over the top as the movie goes on. But yeah, like other than that, like I don't really have too many complaints for this movie. Like I don't think it's possible to like hate this movie. Like I don't think there's anything objectively wrong with it. I don't think there's anything that you can say about it that's bad. Like I was enjoying it, I was laughing, I just had a big dumb grin on my face the entire time, and like watching this movie, it definitely gave me a new like sort of insight and a new respect for Pee Wee Herman and Paul Reubens, and just the effect that he had on a generation of kids before me, essentially. And I mean, it definitely sucks like seeing such a force of just childlike wonder and whimsy and optimism be taken out by something as brutal as cancer. Like anytime, you know, same thing with someone like Chadwick Boseman. Like anytime cancer is involved, you just like your heart just breaks, because it's like it's not just the disease itself, but the long like battle that, you know, that is really rough and makes the impact all the more tough. It sucks that he's gone, but you know what? He'll be remembered forever with this show and this movie and the laughs that he gave so many kids and honestly probably adults too. So rest in peace, Paul Reubens. You may not have shaped my childhood, but you definitely shaped several other people's, and you have made an impact that will live on forever and ever. I would highly recommend this movie. I've got nothing bad to say about it. I just had a blast watching it. And yeah, I would have to rank this movie a 4.5 out of 5. But anyway, that does it for this video. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What did you think of it? Did you grow up on this movie or watching Pee-wee's Playhouse? Let me know all that stuff down below. I've got more videos coming soon, but until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.